Hi, I'm Carla. Welcome back to my channel. On my first video, which I call Chapter 1, I told you about my breast cancer diagnosis and my intention of treating it almost all naturally. And on the second, I showed you how, with the help of a great vet, we got rid of my dog's benign tumor with just two supplements without surgery. Supplements I have adopted and started taking the human form of them myself. After that happened, I dove into YouTube and they portrayed a video of Dr. Thomas Seyfried, a PhD in genetics and biochemistry, who has written the book Cancer as a Metabolic Disease. No, I did not read it, mainly because I'm not his target audience, which is other doctors, who are also the target of his videos. But after watching them, with my rudimentary knowledge of biology, I found it easy to understand his key comment. Cancer is not a genetic disease, it is a metabolic one. There are two videos that I have linked to the description that summarize his statement. In the video by Met Cancer, Dr. Seyfried shows a chart explaining the cell's experiments performed by several scientists. I did not want to use his for fear of copyright infringement. So, with the help of my dear niece Julia, who drew the DNA in mitochondria, I created my own. First, I will try to explain the cell structure, simplifying it. If you're already familiar with it, jump forward. The cell is formed by the nucleus, here painted in yellow, and the cytoplasm, which is the rest of the cell minus the nucleus. In the nucleus is our DNA, our unique genetic code. In the cytoplasm is where mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, are. I only placed one of each to simplify the drawing, but there may be many. So, mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, responsible for utilizing the food we eat and the air we breathe to create energy for our bodies. Now let's analyze the experiment science performed. On column 1, you have a normal cell, and on column 2, you have a cancerous cell. They removed each nucleus and exchanged them as shown by the blue arrows. The result is that the cytoplasm controls the outcome, not the genes in the nucleus. So the cell with the healthy cytoplasm with a cancerous nucleus behaved normally with regulated growth, and the cell with the unhealthy cytoplasm, in spite of the healthy nucleus, went on to behave like a cancerous cell, presenting abnormal growth. Just by explaining these experiments to me, I was convinced that cancer is not a genetic condition. But in the second video I linked, he goes on to explain that no human gene, such as BRCA1, BRCA2, P53, or others, have been found to be 100% determinant in causing cancer. Meaning, there are people who have these genes and never develop cancer, while there are other people who don't have it and they develop the disease. Yes, now my parents were off the hook. The greatest parents on earth. Oh, how much I miss them. Time to check my own lifestyle choices and blame myself. And I loved it, because now a different course of action presented itself to me by the same scientist. In other videos, also linked in the description, Dr. Thomas Seyfried stated that almost all cancer cells thrive, grow, and reproduce in the presence of glucose and glutamine. And they can't process ketones, which is what our body makes by burning fat. Getting rid of glucose in your diet takes a lot of self discipline and determination, but it's doable. Glucose is the byproduct of consuming carbohydrates, one of them being sugars. And when I say sugars, I mean all of them, including the ones coming from most fruits, honey, and syrups. There are also carbohydrates in flour, in potatoes and other roots, some vegetables, and even milk has them. For instance, rice and beans are the basis of the Brazilian diet, but unfortunately, they had to go. They are rich in carbohydrates. No alcohol either. Out the window went my occasional but very pleasurable margaritas. Dr. Seyfried does not commit to a specific diet. What he says is that you must limit your carbohydrate intake to 20 to 50 grams per day. He also states that you need to measure your glucose to ketones index, or GKI. He even mentions the Keto Mojo equipment, which is available in the US, but I had to use one that was available to me in my country. I'll explain this better in upcoming videos. He says that these frequent measurements will tell you if your choice of diet is correct or not, since every human being is different. Now, cutting glutamine, which is a byproduct of consuming proteins, is not possible nor advisable, since it will do more harm to your immune system, your muscles, and your overall metabolism than help you kill the cancer. He developed the press pulse strategy, and by press, he means the drastic reduction in carbohydrates continually. And the pulse is the use of drugs that suppresses the glutamine, but for short periods of time in an on-off basis. But most of us, even doctors, do not have access to DAWN, a drug that plays an important role in the pulse part of his strategy. But don't be put off by that. First, because Dr. Seyfried is very close to studying glioblastoma, a very aggressive form of brain cancer. And second, because in another video, he mentions the use of antiparasitic drugs like mebendazole as an alternative for the post strategy, which played a role in my treatment as prescribed by my doctor that I chose to be my primary care. I will also tell you about other strategies I decided to pursue to take care of the glutamine part, also under the supervision of my doctors and nutritionists. But for the dog lovers of this channel, here goes a tip from Mary. Watch the video of Veterinary Secrets on fenbendazole, a relative of mebendazole for pets, that I have also linked in the description. Now back to Dr. Seyfried. One of the things he says is very true. Controlling the GKI is in the hands of the patient, not the doctor. And not everyone is comfortable with this, and everything you need to renounce to accomplish it. So if you choose a different route, I totally understand. But it doesn't hurt to have this information so you can help yourself more with your treatment of choice. But as I told you on my first video, I did not want to die of cancer, nor was I up for the traditional treatments. So I took it as a challenge and started my ketogenic diet while also researching for a doctor in my country that was aligned with Dr. Seyfried's studies. I encourage you to watch as many of his videos as you can, including the several interviews he has given to a wide variety of hosts. I have learned something different in almost all of them, including that human cancer cells start to die after 72 hours when they can't access either glucose or glutamine as fuel for growth. Finding my doctor here on YouTube will be the subject of my next video, Chapter 4. I plan on continue to launch a new video every Friday, and it will probably take around 12 weeks for me to tell you all about my journey, its challenges, and its results so far. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I see you soon. Bye bye.